Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. So this is going to be a little review. I have 500 miles roughly on this bike now. This is my 38cc friction drive motorized bicycle. Friction drive. And this is going to be a review on basically, is it good or not? Would I buy it again? Should you buy it? Pros, cons, stuff like that. So guess we'll start out with the pros of this, and it is technically it's legal, even though when you get the engine it says non-road engine. I had to take that sticker off. Technically it's legal because anything that goes under 25 miles an hour and is below 49 cc's, I think, is illegal, and you don't have to have like a motorcycle license or anything. So that's kind of a pro. You don't have to constantly look over your shoulder for cops. Another pro is it's quiet. It's fairly quiet. The only thing you really hear that's a little bit loud is the clutch when it wants to work properly. We'll get into that later. It's easy to ride like a regular bicycle. If you know, with these 80cc two-strokes, it has that extra chain which is also hooked to the back tire, and then you have to ride it like a regular bike. That's a little harder, but with this you really can't even tell it's a regular bike or not if you put the engine up. Right now the friction thing's not touching the tire, so it will spin just like a regular bicycle will. So if you run out of gas or something, it's definitely easy to ride. It's really kind of all the pros to this. I mean, the kit comes with this Honda clone engine, the Honda GX35 clone. These things will run forever. That's not a problem with this kit. That's not a problem. These things will run forever, and they're pretty much bulletproof. So, let's start with the cons now. It's loud. The clutch is loud, and it does not like to grab very good because this engine doesn't have much torque to get that clutch spinning fast. So basically you have to pedal it up to like 10 miles an hour and then give it like full throttle and wait till you're up to like 15 miles an hour, and then the clutch will finally want to engage and go and go and go. Well, that kind of sucks, because that one all I have to do is pedal it up to 8 miles an hour, pop the clutch, and you're off. With this one, another con is it chews through tires very fast because of that friction drive. If you don't have it set on the tire perfectly, or if you don't have the perfect tire PSI, it chews through tires fast. Of course, I did a burnout on this, but I've only gotten 500 miles out of this tire. Actually, never mind, I've gotten 200 miles because I was using the original tire that was on this bike for the first 300. So I've gotten 200 miles on it. And you have to kind of be picky with what kind of tire you use. I'm going to get a wider tire, a wider, softer compound tire next time. This is a 1.7 inch tire wide. And it just doesn't like to grab. This friction thing does not like to grab on that. My friend has one of these friction bikes. Same one, just from, not from BikeBerry. It's just from some eBay or something. It's a little different. It actually has a Honda engine, but other than that, same thing. And he can only use the thick, like actual beach cruiser tires that are like that wide, and they're kind of flat on top, and they're like 2.1 inches wide. He can only use those because his friction thing does not like to grab, and mine didn't either, so definitely get a new tire. Another con, the gas tank is tiny. Look at this gas tank. It's probably, I'd guess, 1 liter, probably. And it'll take me, going full throttle, going about 25 miles an hour, it'll take me maybe 10 miles at max. So that's why I have this old seafoam can here full of gas. That's my extra fuel. This fills up the tank once. So I guess the tank is 16 ounces, maybe 20, it's probably 20 ounces. But yeah. So I can get about 40 miles now with that extra gas and stuff. So another con is it's the bearing, there's something wrong with the bearing. There's cheap parts on this. Not this bearing, I've already taken that apart and greased it once. But the bearing in here, right in there by the friction shaft on the left hand side, there's a bearing in that little thing where the clutch is. What are you doing, kitty? No, go away. Anyway, there's a bearing in there, and it's hard to get to without taking all of this apart. All that apart. And what I'm thinking happened is that seal, see how dusty it is in here? It's because all the dust that gets picked up on this tire from the road, instead of just sticking on the tire and keep spinning, what happens is this friction thing kicks it up, and it's super dusty in here. Look at that. It's very dusty. And I think that dust, bunch of that dust and rocks and a whole bunch of crap in there got in that bearing and kind of gummed it up a little. So sometimes when you're riding, it'll start making this noise, and every time the bearing spins once, it goes click, 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 and it's very, very annoying. And yeah, cheap parts, cheap parts. Like the engine is fine, very good engine. It'll run forever. It won't really ever break down. Just change the oil, change the air filter, change the spark plug like every 1,000 miles or something. The clutch is cheap. It's got the weird two-piece centrifugal clutch with the pads and the bell are separate. This mounting plate is solid. It's like I don't know, eighth of an inch steel. It's solid. This mounting thing's solid. This one's a little flimsy. It's a little thinner than the other ones. This quick lock thing isn't too bad, but these spacers are just cheap cast aluminum. And there was one other thing that I forgot that's kind of cheesy. Oh yeah, the gas tank was cheesy. It got a rock kicked up and started leaking. So that's probably why they send you with 2 gas tanks when you buy this kit from Bikeberry, is because of that. Because they are cheap. This one's not bad, but the other one was very, very thin plastic. The bike I have it on is fine. It's a Sun Cruiser. It's a nice bike. It's probably like if I had to guess, a $400 cruiser. So it's a nice bike. Yeah, that's about all I have for this so far. I mean, it has goods and it has bads. Like I said, you'll have to go back in the video if you missed them. Would I buy this bike again? Would I buy this kit again? No, I would not buy this kit ever again because of the cheap parts, and it's expensive. For all of these, hey, nice Harley. For all of these cheap parts on this bike, all I really paid for was the mount and the engine. That's really it. All the rest of it I could have fabricated myself. How hard is it to find a piece of steel like this and drill a hole in it? Seriously. For what I paid for it, no. If I could find one cheaper that's just like this for maybe $200 instead of $270, maybe. But if I were to buy another 4-stroke motorized bike engine kit, it would definitely be an in-frame one, because I've heard those are very reliable, and this is just, no. I paid $170 with shipping and tax and stuff on this, and it's really not that, it's reliable, but it's noisy, and the parts you have to replace all the time. When this bike cost me $160 with shipping and tax, and I haven't really had to do anything to it. These are funner and easier to work on too, and they're faster, and they're illegal, so they're fun. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy this. If you want to take a chance, or if you want to, I don't know, you can buy it if you want to, but I wouldn't suggest it if you are looking for a daily rider. Unless maybe, a lot of motorcycles out today, unless maybe you got a bigger engine. They sell this with the 49cc 4-stroke Hoshang engine too. Maybe that one would have just enough torque to spin that clutch faster and make her go better. But if you wanted to buy that one, maybe. I haven't tried it. I'm probably not going to. And I don't know, maybe I think I have to buy a new clutch because I kind of ruined it on my burnout. It didn't want to grab anymore, so that's my fault. But if you wanted to try this kit, I wouldn't suggest it, but if you really, really feel like it, then go ahead. But I haven't had very good luck with it. It's expensive, and you can buy a nicer one like that for way cheaper. Actually, this one, with all of my performance parts, like the boost bottle, the small sprocket, the big chain, the head, the spark plug, and then all of my self-modifications. I just had to put a new throttle thing on it too. I probably have $260, which I spent on that. I probably have the same amount on this, and that's with a bunch of performance parts. So anyway, if you wanted to try it out, go ahead, but I wouldn't suggest it. It's not a great bike. It's fun to ride. It cruises along when it wants to. When the clutch wants to work, it's fine. It's quiet. It's a smooth ride. But half the time, once you get past about 150 to 200 miles on this bike, the clutch starts to wear out, and it just does not want to grab or work very good. So I just wouldn't go near this thing. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel or want to support the channel, please subscribe. That'd be awesome. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, have a great day.